Hi, my name is Dylan Feek. I'm the city manager here for the city of Monrovia. I'd like to welcome you to the 11th annual virtual MAP Neighborhood Conference. Certainly welcome you as you learn more about the city. And today we're going to learn a little bit about the city manager's office. I began work as the Monrovia city manager in October of 2019. So I was fortunate to be able to have about 4 to 5 months under my belt before the COVID pandemic began, and the city had to drastically change all the work we did. So unfortunately, many of you haven't had a chance to even get to meet me in person. But if you did meet me in person, you'd find me at our Friday night street fairs, shopping here along Myrtle Avenue, spending time with my family in our local parks. I have 3 young children who love Library Park and Recreation Park. I have a membership at the YMCA where you'll find me early mornings getting my workout in before I arrive here at City Hall to conduct business as the city manager. But I like Monrovia is a very special place. Everything you could want to do here is here. We have wonderful school systems with award-winning programs. We have the Hillside Wilderness Preserve, which is more than 1,400 acres of beautiful land where you can ride your bike, you can hike, you can relax. Frequently, I go up there for lunch meetings and we eat at picnic tables. It's a great place to attend the public library. We have a beautiful place-making library right here in the heart of Old Town. Monrovia is just a very special place with big dreams ahead of us, from Station Square Transit Village, where we've been planning for 2,200 new housing units south of the 210. This is significant in that it adds more than 15% housing supply here in the city of Monrovia. We're also constantly trying to upgrade our infrastructure. Recently, a lot of focus has been on Monrovia Renewal. $55 million committed to replacing streets, sidewalks, water mains, sewer mains. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. We have significantly more infrastructure, from city buildings and parks and playgrounds, various facilities that we need to replace. In addition, we want to make the community a better place to live. So looking at Lucinda Garcia Park, for example, this year we'll be doing a major retrofit of the park, spending about $1 million to do a major facelift and make that a much better amenity for the community. We've recently completed work along the Duarte Avenue corridor to improve the signalization and traffic timing to try and make the time you're stopped in congestion a little less awful. So constantly trying to make our community a better place to live, a better place to work, certainly a better place to raise a family. When you think of a city manager, do any of you know any other city managers? It's a question I used to think about as I was younger. I didn't know any city managers. I didn't know where clean water came from. I didn't know where wastewater went and how it was treated and what happened to it when you flush the toilet. Cities are very, very interesting. I'm very grateful to have time with you to talk more about what a city manager does, about how the city operates. Today, you're going to learn more about all the different departments here of the city, which in Monrovia, we have 7 departments. We have the city manager's office, which provides oversight and administration of the entire city. We have a police department, fire department, public works department, community services, community development, as well as public works. And you're going to learn more about what each one of those departments do. But the city manager's office is that conduit between the city organization and the elected officials who you choose to represent you in all things related to the city of Monrovia. We have 5 council members, 1 mayor, 4 council members who represent the city council, your elected officials representing all Monrovians. And they provide the policy making, the decision making to the city of Monrovia, which includes the city manager. I take their policy and I implement it here at the city. And it's a wonderful partnership that we have. We've got a council that's committed to public service, a council that has wanted to invest in our infrastructure, and has certainly supported the departments that are meant to keep the community safe by providing excellent police, fire, and even community development programs. Also, they've wanted us to invest in our infrastructure, which again, Monrovia Renewal, $55 million dedicated to repairing our streets. At one time, our streets were among some of the poorest in the state. We rate them every year. 53.7 was the rating that our streets were assigned. After $55 million worth of investment, they're now rated above an 87. which is significant. It represents a lot of time and energy and commitment to repairing our infrastructure. We've been very proud of the work we've completed to date, including receiving a national award by the International City County Management Association for our Monrovia Renewal program. It was a wonderful program that required collaboration from not just city departments, but various stakeholders, community members, residents to upgrade infrastructure. Welcome to City Hall. For those of you who have never been to the city manager's office, we'd love to give you a quick little tour. One thing I want to point out, we have an awesome program here at the city called our YES program. It's our Youth Employment Services program, where every year we hire probably 30, perhaps more some years, interns to come work for us. It's one of our cool programs where we like to show people how much fun you can have working here at the city. What most people really don't know is what a city manager gets to do. I have the best job in all of Monrovia. Let me show you a little bit about what I do. Come on with me. We've been responding to the COVID-19 emergency. As you all know, we're wearing protective equipment, we're practicing safe social distancing from one another, and the only reason I'm not wearing a mask right now is just so that you can hear me as I speak to the camera. But if you were to look around the office, normally we have about 15 people working in the city manager's office. We've had most everybody working remotely from home or working in very isolated spaces to try and keep them safe while we perform essential city work. Here's the front counter. When you come down to the city manager's office, let's say you're interviewing for a position, you want to meet with me to talk about economic development, or you have perhaps a need or an issue that comes up. This is where you would come, be able to check in here, get greeted by someone, and I'll show you right back here to my office. At the City of Monrovia, we have a mission which is really important. We want every employee to know what that mission is. We're at the city, we exist to serve the people of Monrovia, to create a community that offers a premier quality of life. It's important and necessary. Every position, whether you are a firefighter, a police officer, a public works employee, even a librarian, everybody has the same mission, that we exist to serve the community. So for those of you who like to give back, who like to serve, who like to work on special projects, city government is a really exciting career to have. So come on in here, here's my office. One thing you'll learn about me is, I didn't grow up wanting to be a city manager. I always thought I was going to be an old classic car restorer. So up here on this wall, I have all my old classic cars. I have an old Porsche, I have an old Datsun, I have old Mustangs, and so I like to decorate my office. Also, one thing that you might not see unless you actually open the door is I am a Pearl Jam fan. Here in this office where the city managers work, it's very, very boring, right? But the thing that to me is most exciting is a city manager, every day is a new day. And when I grew up, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do as a career. I wasn't sure how I wanted to make a difference, but I knew somehow that I wanted to give back to a community. And I wasn't really sure how. So I thought about maybe I could join the military, or maybe I could be an attorney and help defend people who were wronged. And somewhere along the lines, I took a class where I learned what it takes to make water clean. How do you take water from the ground, clean it, purify it, and then distribute it to all the homes and residences, and then even collect it and take it away and send it down to a wastewater treatment facility and treat it when you're done. That was really intriguing to me, and it was through a course in college that I decided this is pretty interesting. I want to learn a little bit more about it. Since college, I've tried to make decisions that brought me closer towards that goal I had, which was giving back to a community. Most people don't know what a city manager does, and so while we have a quiet office here at the City of Monrovia, we do a lot of really exciting things. We have a police department, we have a fire department, we have a library, we have a 1,400 plus acre hillside wilderness preserve, we have Canyon Park, we have public works and lots of different parks and grounds around the area. We do economic development. We do community services and work with seniors. We work with youth. We do all kinds of fun programs and activities, special events, and a whole host of other things. Previously, I'd worked in other cities where the city had an airport, or where the city had a golf course, or a large indoor water park. I have close friends of mine who actually, at cities they work in, they have zoos. and they have large facilities, train stations and depots and metro stations. There's all kinds of ways to be involved in local government. And city management, to me, is exciting because there's just so much diversity. There's so many interesting things to work on. We've been responding to the Bobcat fire. And unfortunately, it's actually the second time I've had to live through or to manage through a wildfire like this. So it's become something of a norm that city managers have to have a little bit of experience and an understanding of how to navigate through when there's a wildfire coming down the hillside. And we're so blessed and fortunate that we've got the right staffing, the right equipment. We had a lot of luck because the winds didn't blow or the weather was in our favor. But we needed to have the plan in place for when a wildfire came down the hill. And I'm really blessed and fortunate to know that we have great staff, great people here, and we've been planning ahead for an incident like that. So every day could be a new day. Every day could be exciting. And whatever it is that you're interested in, if you like sports and athletics, if you like to, give back and serve, people in the community through the arts, whether it be through theater or painting or music. Cities provide a whole variety of services to people, and cities all hire a city manager. Here in Monrovia, as well as many other cities, you have an election, and residents vote on a mayor, on city council members. These are your elected representatives. What people don't know generally is that those elected officials hire one person to manage the city. They hire a city manager. Think of it a lot like a board hiring a CEO to run a corporation. It's the same principle. Elected officials will hire a professional manager who's trained, who has a formal education to manage a city, and the city manager manages the city. So manages a police department, a fire department, public works, and so on. And that's what I do as a city manager here in Monrovia. Most people don't grow up wanting to be a city manager, dreaming about running the day-to-day operations of a city, but somehow with a passion for public service, a passion for helping other people, and a deep desire to make a difference in the community, I was fortunate to be chosen as Monrovia's city manager. I'd like to introduce Monrovia's Assistant City Manager, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren, if you could join me.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come and speak to you today. I'm really excited about the 11th MAP Neighborhood Conference, and I, along with Dylan, am really just excited that we're able to do this virtually and that we get to do this year. So my name is Lauren Vasquez. I'm your Assistant City Manager, and I, along with Dylan, I'm really excited to be a part of the 11th annual MAP Neighborhood Conference and to be with you this morning. I've been with the city for about 14 years and kind of worked in different variations in different areas of the city, just trying to learn the operations. And so I've had the privilege of serving you for these 14 years. And now in my role, I run the city manager's office. And I've been asked to talk a little bit about what the city manager's office does. We're really a department that we're dedicated to providing internal support to all of the operating departments meaning public works, police, fire, community services, all the departments that are out there doing the real work is what we like to say, which you'll learn about shortly. The city manager's office is really a department that consists of 3 divisions. We have 12 full-time employees and 3 part-time employees on our team. The first division I'm going to talk about is the city clerk's office. Really, they're responsible for administering and supporting the city council meetings. We have 54 meetings a year, and it takes a lot of coordination behind the scenes to be able to offer those meetings to the community. This year has been a little different due to COVID. We've had to do them virtually, and we're finding better ways to do them and enhancements and being able to actually. Coming up next week, we're going to actually have the public participate live for the first time. So we're really, really excited about that. But really, the city clerk's office handles the management of those meetings. They're also really considered the holder of all official city documents, and they're responsible for the public records request process. Believe it or not, we get about 80 public records requests a month. So it keeps our team busy, but they do a great job processing and responding to all of those requests. Next is our Human Resources Division. The men and women here are really responsible for all of the city's personnel, including recruitment, retention, benefits, training, and our risk management. We have about 240 full-time employees and over 100 part-time employees. So to be able to keep all of those positions filled, the team really works together to develop very creative and innovative recruitment processes. In a normal year, we usually conduct around 40 recruitments and we onboard close to 70 new employees, which is a large feat, but we're very excited when we get new faces in on our team to contribute to the work that we do collectively for the community. 2020 got off to a slow start due to COVID and some of the other state of emergencies that we had. But really over the course of 2020 and 2021, we have brought on 34 new employees, which the team and I couldn't be more happy about. So pretty excited about that. And just shameless plug, we do have job opportunities always on our website. We also have been advertising them through our social media. But if anybody has any questions or is interested in working for the City of Monrovia, please contact me or our Human Resources Department, and we'd be happy to share all of those details. So apply. And last is our Administration Division. Here we have our Economic Development, Special Projects, we have Legislative Advocacy, we also cover IT, and we cover Public Information and Communications. And I'm going to get a little bit more in detail with our public information and communications, just because it's been so impactful in a year that we've had so much going on. Providing information and engaging with the Monrovia community is one of our highest priorities, and we don't take that responsibility lightly. When the Office of Public Information and Communication learns of something that we believe that affect our residents, visitors, or businesses, we see it as our responsibility to research and share this information quickly to the public through all of our channels that we have available, including our city website, the city manager's update, and through all of our social media platforms. I think we can all agree that 2020 was filled with unprecedented circumstances. Whether it was the pandemic or the Bobcat fire, unprecedented or not, our goal is to always deliver updated, accurate, accessible, and trustworthy information no matter the situation. On average, the office publishes around 52 city manager update newsletters annually. However, last year with the 2020 state of emergencies, throughout the Bobcat fire, we published 147 community updates, which is more than double what we normally do. Additionally, over the course of 2020, we received over 2 million views on our website. Now, really, to put this into perspective, the city's website receives annually around 800,000 total page views. So to have over 2 million was impressive. It told us people were looking at our website, that we were a source of information, and we were pretty excited about that. And across all of our social media platforms, we have combined a total of 20,000 followers, which this totals about 2 million views. So again, just being a hub of being able to get information out and where residents and visitors are coming to get information, we've definitely made that a priority. With the shift to more virtual events and programs, the Office of Public Information and Communication seamlessly adapted to these changes. Large events like the State of the City Address transitioned to a full-scale virtual production. Announcements that in the past have been shared as a simple press release have now transitioned into a multimedia approach, which includes photos, videos, and much, much more. Just a shameless plug to stay up to date on all the exciting projects and programs happening in your community. Please be sure to visit our website at cityofmonrovia.org or engage with us on our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram accounts. In 2015, the city broke ground on the largest public works project in the city's history. Known as Monrovia Renewal, this multi-year infrastructure improvement initiative was designed to prioritize repairs and restore the city's aging infrastructure that was plagued by a backlog of deferred maintenance. This $55.2 million project aimed to upgrade and repair water and sewer pipelines, water facilities, streets, sidewalks, curbs, and gutters. In 2020, Monrovia Renewal was awarded with the Strategic Leadership and Governance Award from the International City-County Management Association for demonstrating that a city can work in partnership with residents, businesses, utility service providers, and other stakeholders to ensure that the city's infrastructure can operate reliably and cost-effectively for decades to come. As we enter 2021, we are thrilled to announce that we are in our last and final phase. Once complete, we will have addressed all deferred maintenance work, and repairs would have been made to all streets that scored below 70 for the Pavement Condition Index. Additionally, we would have addressed all deficient sewer pipes underground and all buckled sidewalks, broken curbs, and gutters.
As you all know, September 2020 brought about the Bobcat Fire. No one could have expected on that Labor Day weekend that a small fire would start north of Monrovia and quickly become one of Los Angeles County's largest wildfires to date. This 120,000 acre fire was significant and really rattled all our nerves for 2 weeks during the month of September of last year. What I'd like to show you today and what I'd like to talk about is a little of the fire, but more importantly, what comes after a fire. Most people don't understand when the fire comes through. Of course, we see it and we know what happens, but there's a significant multi-year effort that takes place after a fire has come through a hillside community, much like Monrovia. So I want to take you up to Canyon Park, which as of this time is still closed to the public. I'm going to show you a few areas that have been burned out. We'll show you some hillsides. I'm going to incorporate maps and different information that I think are important for all Monrovians to know. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happens after the fire. It's mid-March and it's raining, so we've been very carefully watching how the rain impacts Canyon Park this winter. But as you see behind me, this is the mouth of Spanish Canyon, and so at the end of September, as the Bobcat Fire was basically wrapping up the burn here within the city limits, this is basically where the fire ended. As it continued to smolder up in the hillsides for about another week afterward. But the fire basically came right out of the mouth of the canyon, wrapped around this side, wrapped around that side, and burned the entire hillsides. And as you can see now, there's quite a bit of green that's already growing and regenerating up on the hillsides. One interesting fact is when those airplanes are dumping the Phosgene, the fire retardant, it actually has phosphorus and seeds in it that help with the growth and regeneration after the fire. We just need a little bit of rain. And so as you can see, quite a bit of the hillside has already got the green showing on it, which is a good sign. Also, as you look down at the saw pit wash, you can see quite a bit of debris flow and erosion that's been gathering. In some places it's as deep as 7 to 10 feet. A considerable amount of brush and wood and limbs, as well as all the soil that's washing down from up steep on the hillsides. Back in late January, we also had a considerable amount of debris flow within Canyon Park. That's the reason Canyon Park's been closed since September. It's not because there's any ongoing work or operations right now. It's actually because when it rains, we're not sure how much debris is going to come down the hillsides. And the points of where the fire burned the hillsides, it's very, very steep, very high up there. So we're really playing a waiting game, waiting for the rain to come and to wash down the hillside. We're really waiting to see how the rain impacts the hillsides at this point in time. And as you can see, quite a bit of erosion is occurring. Since March of 2020, COVID has had a devastating impact on all aspects of our lives. So I'm not here to talk about how COVID has impacted the city or city operations, school districts, businesses specifically, but I do want to talk a little bit about the work the city has done to try and support our business community during this trying time. Since the initial Safer at Home order was implemented, the city has allowed businesses to open and operate as much as was possible under the guidelines of the Department of Public Health. So most residents will know that the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health are the ones responsible for administering health orders, Safer at Home orders. When the Department of Public Health issues a Safer at Home order and provides guidelines, safety protocols for a local business to comply with, the city of Monrovia doesn't necessarily have any ability to modify or change any of those directives. We simply have to comply. Our role during the pandemic has been to support and assist businesses as much as we can through the pandemic. Now, a city of our size does not have the kind of financial means to support businesses directly with financial aid and support, but we have tried to do everything we could to allow businesses to operate within whatever the confines are of those Safer at Home orders. For the last several months, several of our staff here at Canyon Park have been keeping watch at the front gate just to make sure that we don't have people coming and going. And we know everyone is very eager and interested to get up into Canyon Park and see the damage. We've been trying a few new ideas on how to bring the park to Monrovians. So if you follow the city manager update, you can go to our city website. You can find information about Canyon Park, but also get alerts, get notices, and even be able to see some of the great footage that we're trying to bring to you since we're not able to bring you into the park at this time. We've got some great drone footage, which shows some of the new vegetation and regrowth that's occurring. We've got pictures of wildlife. And as you can see here behind me, even at the Nature Center, our staff are busy working through the Nature Center to clean it and going to update some displays for a later time when hopefully we can reopen Canyon Park and welcome you back. Right now, we don't have a definitive timeline of when we'll be able to open the park, but we are trying to have it open at least for a portion of the summer season here in 2021. But then we're certainly going to have to close it again for next winter storm season. The concern that we have with these hillsides, as you've seen, is there's been quite a bit of vegetation that's burned at a historic rate, and we know there's going to continue to be erosion and debris flow for years to come. So we'll be very careful of allowing residents to come up here into the Canyon Park. For the next several years, the concern will continue to be debris and erosion flow from the hillsides down within the park. So during storm seasons, we're going to have to keep the park closed, but we are looking at alternative ways to open the park, at least during certain times, certain days, to be able to welcome residents back in the park as early as 2021. So more information to come later as we finalize those plans, but be on the lookout. We'll be sure to announce them as soon as they're available.